Welcome back to another episode of For All Humans. The religion of Islam is touted as many things in the media these days, but one aspect of Islam we don't usually hear about is the religion's green credentials. According to Syed Hussein Nazir, a professor of Islamic studies at George Washington University and a world-renowned scholar whose interest in the field of science, religion and the environment spans 5 decades, there's a particular word that should be associated with Islam. No, it's not terrorism or jihad, far from it actually, it's environmentalism. Dr. Nazir holds undergraduate degrees in maths and physics from MIT, a master's in geology and a PhD from Harvard University in the history of science. After much research in the field, Nazir believes Islam should probably be regarded as the green religion. Nazir's published dozens of books, including Man and Nature, The Spiritual Crisis in Modern Man, and he explains his reasoning by turning to the various passages about nature contained in the Qur'an.
The Qur'an addresses not only human beings, but also the cosmos. It's much easier to be able to develop an environmental philosophy. Birds are called communities in the Qur'an, and it's so easy to develop an authentic Islamic philosophy of the environment.
So how exactly does the religion of Islam teach and preach about respecting nature? Well, for starters, the Qur'an clearly establishes that we humans are stewards or guardians here on Earth, caretakers of this planet. And just because humans are generally more intelligent than other creatures, it doesn't mean that we should feel free to exploit them. In chapter 6, verse 165 of the Qur'an, it says, "And it is He, God, who has made you successors, Khalifa, upon the earth, and has raised some of you above others in degrees of rank, that He may try you through what He has given you. Indeed, your Lord is swift in penalty, but indeed He's forgiving and merciful." In this verse, in addition to establishing that humans are responsible for taking care of the earth, the Qur'an is also reminding us that we will be held accountable if we choose to wield our humanly power unjustly against the earth and its various creatures. The Qur'an also contains many verses that warn us not to be excessive or wasteful, both in our material possessions and in our diets. Islam teaches moderation and balance in all things, and our interactions with the environment are no exception. In chapter 7, verse 31 of the Qur'an, God says, "O children of Adam, take your adornment at every place of prayer, eat and drink, but be not excessive. Indeed, Allah likes not those who commit excess." Furthermore, in chapter 104, verse 2 of the Qur'an, it says, "Woe unto him who amasses wealth and counts it as a safeguard." Then in chapter 5, we're simultaneously offered some reflections on the elements in nature and reminded to remain balanced. The All-Merciful has taught the Qur'an. He created man and He taught him the explanation. The sun and the moon to a reckoning, and the stars and trees bow themselves, and heaven. He raised it up and set the balance. Transgress not in the balance, and weigh with justice, and skimp not in the balance. And earth He set it down for all beings, therein fruits and palm trees with sheaths, and grain in the blade, and fragrant herbs. Which of your Lord's favours will you then deny? These are just a sample of the verses of the Qur'an that talk about avoiding excess and striking a balance within our connections with nature, something we often refer to in modern day terms as reducing. Now on to recycling. It's reported that the Prophet Muhammed would mend or patch his clothes and repair his own shoes, not just in times of poverty, but also in times of ease. This was a man who was a prophet, an influential leader, and at one point the head of a state, and yet he chose to mend rather than discard. This is a powerful example of recycling, not because of scarcity or poverty, but simply because it is the right thing to do and the best thing for our planet. And that's not all. The Prophet Muhammad's traditions and authenticated sayings are rife with examples of just how highly he regarded nature and the earth's various creatures. He has multiple sayings about the importance of planting trees alone. Anas, one of the companions of the Prophet, reported that the Prophet said, "If the hour, Judgment Day, is about to be established and one of you was holding a palm shoot, let him take advantage of even 1 second before the hour is established to plant it." Jabir, another companion of the Prophet, reported that he said, if a Muslim plants a tree or sows a field and men and beasts and birds eat from it, all of it is charity from him. The Prophet also warned against wasting water, even if one is standing at a flowing river. One of the companions of the Prophet tells a story that the Prophet Muhammad passed by one of his friends one day while his friend was performing ablution, which is a ritual cleaning of the body parts done before prayer. The Prophet asked his friend, "What is this wastage?" And his friend replied, "Is there wastage in ablution also?" To which the Prophet said, "Yes, even if you're on the banks of a flowing river." Then there are the many sayings and actions of the Prophet that warn against harming living creatures, both physically and emotionally. One of the Prophet's companions narrates this story. We were on a journey with the Prophet and he left us for a while. During his absence, we saw a bird with its 2 young and took the young ones. The mother bird was circling above us in the sky, beating its wings in grief, when the Prophet came back and said, "Who has hurt the feelings of this bird by taking its young? Return them to her." And in another instance, during a journey, one of the men travelling with the Prophet gathered some birds' eggs from a nest. The mother bird's painful cries and commotion attracted the attention of the Prophet, who asked the man to return the eggs to the nest. Another time, a companion came to the Prophet carrying baby chicks in his clothing and mentioned that the mother bird had hovered over them all along. He was directed to return the chicks back to the same bush. And though Islam does not require its followers to be vegetarians or vegans, it does take a strong stance against killing animals for sport or pleasure. With regards to this, the Prophet Muhammad is reported to have said, "If someone kills a sparrow for sport, the sparrow will cry out on the day of judgment, 'O Lord, that person killed me in vain. He did not kill me for any useful purpose.'" There's also a story narrated by one of the companions of the Prophet named Ibn Umar that he entered upon Yahya ibn Sa'id, and one of Yahya's sons had tied up a hen and was shooting at it. Ibn Umar walked over to him and untied it. Then he brought it and the boy and said, "Do not allow your boys to tie up birds in order to kill them. For I heard the Prophet forbidding the tying up of animals or other creatures in order to kill them." The version narrated by the Muslims says the Messenger of Allah cursed those who do that. And moreover, the Prophet stipulated that if an animal is to be killed for a purpose, it should be done in the best manner, when he said, "Allah has ordained kindness and excellence in everything. If the killing of animals is to be done, do it in the best manner. And when you slaughter, do it in the best manner by first sharpening the knife and putting the animal at ease." The Prophet also emphasised that there is a great reward for serving or helping animals when he shared this story and many others like it with his companions. A man felt very thirsty while he was walking on the road. There he came across a well. He went down the well, quenched his thirst, and came out. Meanwhile, he saw a dog panting and licking mud because of excessive thirst. He said to himself, "This dog is suffering from thirst as I did." So he went down the well again, filled his shoe with water, held it with his mouth and watered the dog. Allah appreciated him for that deed and forgave him. The companions said, "O Prophet, is there a reward for us in serving the animals?" The Prophet Muhammad replied, "There is a reward for serving any living being." So whether it be through the many verses of the Qur'an that ask us to pause and reflect on the cosmos and nature and everything in it, whether big or small, or whether it be one of the many traditions of the Prophet Muhammad that taught his followers to reduce, reuse, recycle and respect all living things, it's clear that when it comes to this green religion, respecting nature and all its elements is part and parcel of having faith. We hope you enjoyed this episode, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Meanwhile, share this with your friends and stay tuned for the next one.